It's coming home. Wait. Excuse me. Wrong thing. Hello everybody and welcome to the Spanish Grand Prix, the 14th time we've been here in Spain since the OC started. The 5th round of the season, the third of 9 tracks that have been on the calendar every season, the first European race of the 2019 season, the circuit used as a winter testing facility for the top class. 6 teams having won here over the past 13 seasons, with Ferrari and Mercedes both winning 3 times, the most out of anyone. 66 laps around this circuit, not the best circuit. There's certainly better ones on the calendar to use. Circuit length of 4.655 kilometers, 16 corners. Lap record set still back in 2009 by Nicolas Gal 10 seasons ago, a 118.599. Previous 4 winners here have included Florian Volk winning twice in 2015 and last season in 2018, Amar Carr winning in 2017, Jay McKenzie in 2016. So, of course, last time out it was Franco Lopez who took the crown off of Amar Carr at Baku. No longer the king he was, and so it means it spices up the title even more, the title fight even more. Amar Carr, though, absolutely decimating the field in practice by almost a second ahead of Laura Chung, Franco Gamba and then Roland Moitian. Quite a close field after Amar Carr, that's for sure, but that was practice. This was qualifying, and on the front row of the grid it's Franco Lopez continuing his form from Baku, taking pole position ahead of Nicolas Gal in second position, still the lap record holder, might I add, as well after qualifying. Amar Carr third position and Laura Chung fourth from Mercedes and Ferrari respectively. Franco Gamba fifth and Joseph Willis sixth, row 3 of the grid here in Spain. On row 4, 7th and 8th, we have Paulino Tomaselli from McLaren and David Kupok, a good qualifying by him, 8th Toro Rosso. On row 5, we have Roland Moitian 9th and Quirosa de Rosa 10th for Racing Point and McLaren. Row 6, we have George Roque for Racing Point and Evan Byrne 12th for Renault. Of course, those two may want to stay away from each other during this race, though. Jay McKenzie 13th with Matteo Catalan 14th for Toro Rosso. Also qualifying from the two Renaults, either Lee Campana, a good qualifying by him as well, actually getting into Q2 in 15th. Maxime Titkoff down in 16th position. Andrea Federi 17th for Alfa Romeo and Chris Chatfield 18th for Haas. Well, qualifying one was wet, hence why they're so far off the pace. 19th place was Felix Sonntag Williams and 20th Jared Fosbury. Still, so far his season not going very well. Zeta Martinez 21st and Gabriel Gomez, who had a 10th place group penalty from last time out in Baku, in last position. Otherwise, for this race, it will be a dry race. It will be sunny. I am very much looking forward to this. I mean, who knows? In Spain, we have had entertaining races here before. So let's get this show on the road. It is Franco Lopez on the front row, and it looks like he's got a lot of fuel in his car. So already it may be a tough race for Lopez, but we are about to find out, as the 5 lights are now on. And we are now underway, and who's going to get the jump into the first corner? It looks like Lopez has made a pretty decent start, and so is Carr behind, actually. And Carr might even take the lead here. He's already got Pascal, and he's already alongside Lopez, so this might be a very short lead for Franco Lopez into the first corner. As Carr's on the inside, he's going to take the lead, and the Red Bull of Franco Gamba is going to take second place, is he? Yes, I think he might have the run, and Gamba does take second position, and wow, that's not the start Lopez would have wanted at all. Originally got off the line well, but Carr was already past him. Although Lopez trying to get back past Franco Gamba, as we already got a yellow flag, and he has done. Back up into second. We've got a yellow flag out already at the first corner. Something has already happened, and it's Jay McKenzie for Renault who is out of the race, and so he must have been hit from behind. Let's go on board with him at the start. So he started obviously down in 13th position, got a not actually a particularly great start, got already dropped behind Matteo Catalan in the Toro Rosso. Evan Byrne came through there, and he almost gets hit by the Toro Rosso there of Catalan, who's trying to squeeze his way through the pack, and then gets past, or has Lee Campana alongside him as they head towards the first corner. So he originally gets through the first corner fight. Oh no, he gets clipped on the side. I thought he got through there, but obviously not. Here on board with Felix Sonntag in the Williams. So far, look, it goes steaming past the manor there of Titkoff, and so far he's made a great start. Moved up to 17th, moving up, trying to move up more positions. Moving up to 16th now, up to 15th. He's going to make a long move down the inside, up to 14th, now down to 15th. And oh, he was the one responsible for Mackenzie's retirement there, as you can see, making contact with the rear end of his car. And that was his race over, done and dusted before it had even got started. So, unfortunately there for Mackenzie. Let's have a look at Franco Gamba. He actually started down to 5th, so he got a great start. So we're looking on board with him. So we've actually got okay off the line, but then he just squeezed through there. It just opened up for him so well as Gal really backed off there. And Gamba obviously was right behind and did originally take second place from his fellow Franco. But Lopez got position back just a few corners later. I say a few corners later, one corner later. Gamba was through coming into turn 3, but then coming into turn 4, Lopez took position back straight away and got back into P2. So that battle could presume that's good news for our though, who is currently leading this race. So here we are looking on board with David Kubok coming on to the back straight. And we're coming up to this left-hander where there can be a number of overtaking opportunities here. But for David Kupok, he just careered straight into the back of Evan Byrne there. And so they're both going to have to now go into the pits. Meanwhile, Frank Gamma under pressure from his teammate Miguel Gal, who's behind him. Gal alongside the Italian as they head towards the first corner. I think Gal's already way past. And he is. And Gal takes third position away from his teammate, and now he'll go after Franco Lopez, who, as I said, has got heavy fuel, much heavier than I think a lot of the drivers around the top 5 have. Chung's got a fair bit of fuel, not as much, but now Chung actually might make a move on the inside of Gamba here. Chung on the inside, and she is through as well. She moves up into 4th position, so Frank Gamba losing 2 places there in the space of a few corners. Now he's got the Ferrari of Willows and the McLaren of Tomaselli behind as well. Then Roke, who's actually made a good start as well, up to 8th ahead of his teammate Moichin. So far, so you can see Byrne and Kupok currently in the pits. Byrne now out of the pits, but of course down in 90th position. Meanwhile, this is the battle for second place. You see Gal already on the back of Franco Lopez, unable to make the move stick there. Meanwhile, Willows and Gamma battling there for P5. Willows almost pushing Gamma through the corner there. That's how close it is. And they're allowing, I think, the 2 racing points behind to even catch up because they hold each other up. And oh, De Rossa is wide. He is way off the circuit. He's using the old layout there. He's that far off. So what has happened to the pole? Did he have contact from behind? It looks like he did. It's from Matteo Catalan in the Toro Rosso. You could see that happening. Catalan managing to keep it on the circuit and keep the position. But you always see a number of failed overtakes. You see a number of overtakes, but I'd say more than half at least are failed ones. And they don't normally result in anything good happening. And De Rossa dropping down all the way to 17th position, rejoining just ahead of Jared Fosbury. Meanwhile, Gal just about in the slipstream of Lopez in front of him. Meanwhile, Willows is in the slipstream of Gamba in front of him. And I think he might try and make a move here. And yep, he's got the speed, and he's going to try and make the move in the first corner. Gamba's not going to let it happen very easily. And has he done it? There's nearly contact, but Gamba just about holds it off. Willows there, unable to make the move stick. Meanwhile, Tomaselli behind him, also trying to make a move. It's Gamba actually slips wide, and oh, he's slid off and somehow managed to keep control of the car. Meanwhile, Moichin trying to get past his teammate Roke there. Had to land the race points to come right into this battle. Let's have a look at once again to see Gamma making a mistake coming through turn 3 and almost losing control right in front of Tomaselli there. So that could have been very deadly, but managing to just about control it. That could have gone horrendously wrong. Well, if he hadn't hit Tomaselli, 2 racing points behind, surely would have made contact. But this is Miguel Scout, looks like passing Franco Lopez for second position, does he? And yes, he's through. Moves up past the Argentinian, so for Franco Lopez, it's probably going to be quite a tough race. Or it's going to be a tough race there, that is for sure. So, we're on lap 4. There's been a fair bit of overtaking already. Meanwhile, this is Gabriel Gomez trying to get past Chris Chatfield. This is for 15th. I'm not sure what's happening there. We're looking at George Roke at the moment, running in 7th position, getting a little bit out of shape there. And now Roller Moichin is right behind him. So that's going to allow Moichin to surely make a move coming through into turn, coming into the left-hander. And so Roke really defending from Moichin, and there's close. They don't want to make contact, Racing Point. Having a good race so far. Roke's made a good start, moved up a few positions. But now behind is the Red Bull there. This was the mistake that Roke made, just went a little bit too much on the high curves there and lost control and lost a lot of momentum there. See it launching it off the curves slightly. Fortunately managed to keep it on the road, but yeah, that is about it. But meanwhile, this is Lopez, who at the moment has now got Chung behind, Willows behind, Tomaselli behind. And so, as we look at David Kupok making a lock-up and going wide there. Fortunately keeping it on the circuit, but he's struggling. Meanwhile, Chung all over the back of Lopez and unable to make the move stick there. Meanwhile, Roke still defending. Oh, there's contact. And Roke goes wide. Oh, and loses his wing. And George Roke, they have made contact at the Racing Point drivers, and Roke has lost his front wing, and Frank again moves up position, but that's exactly what they didn't want to happen, Racing Point, and it has happened. And you don't normally see damage that often there, but for Roke it's happened for him. It's a disaster for Racing Point, and Frank Gamma could just see that happening. By the way, it almost actually goes into the back of Mojin as well. And meanwhile, we're looking at Lopez, who's still under pressure from Chung, 7 seconds off Miguel Escow second at the moment. Meanwhile, Lean Campana having a good race so far, moving up into 9th place, passing that is Matteo Catalan, the Italian for Toro Rosso. So far, a good race from Lean Campana. We're on lap 6 of 66. So we now skip a lap. We're now on to lap 7. We're still looking at Miguel Escow, who is closing up to the back of Amar Kar out front. So we could see a battle for the lead very soon. Meanwhile, Chung still trying to get past Lopez, and she finally may have done it. And she does, moving up ahead of the Argentine, who of course is still struggling on this strategy that he's on. It's going to be a long, long day for him, that is for sure. There's no getting away from it, really. But as we see Chung once again, it was a great move down the inside from her, to be fair. Just swapped to the inside, and Lopez just couldn't do anything about it. And yeah, that was a pretty good move from the Chinese driver. Now, meanwhile, Joseph Willis is going to attempt to do the same and follow Chung through in the slipstream, coming on to the front straight, and this should be pretty straightforward for Willows. He's on the inside, and I wonder if Tomaselli behind as well could even make a move too. And Willows is now through, up into P4, so a good move there by him. So now you can see Tomaselli actually already gaining to the back of Lopez, but meanwhile Miguel Escow is now right on the back of Amar Kar. This is the battle for the lead. Meanwhile, Chung has cleared obviously Willows, so I wonder if she could have maybe something to do up front. But you can see Lopez now under pressure from Tomaselli, who's in the slipstream, not quite close to make a move. Meanwhile, Rolamojin is out. Rolamojin is out of the race. He has got a mechanical failure. It looked to be a transmission problem. But Rolamojin, who was running in the points, and despite obviously having that skirmish with his teammate, was running solidly. But he is now going to be getting absolutely nothing from this race. So no points for Rolamojin, probably no points for Racing Point today either, because Roke is just so far down the field. But yeah, that is all we can say really. His race is done and dusted. His car is done for. But yeah, there's not really much else you can say. I mean, it's not been. I mean, for Mojin, he's definitely outperformed his teammates so far this season. That's for sure. But yeah, he's just not quite gone. I suppose maybe the way they would have wanted. Well, certainly for Roke has not gone his way. Mojin, it's gone better for him. You could say that, but they probably still would have expected more. Meanwhile, this is Gal and Carr once again battling for the lead of this race on lap 10. As we look at Rolamojin once again, his failure that caused him to retire, and it was, as it said on his dashboard, it was a transmission failure for the Hungarian driver. So, as we look at the car once again breaking down, he pulls off as Franco Gamma goes past him there. And so, meanwhile, now Amar Kar, who was leading, now relinquishes that lead to Miguel Escow, who now takes the lead of this race. So, we can see how much further Gal is going than Carr. I'm pretty sure he's probably maybe going 2 laps or so, maybe. I don't think it's a huge amount further, but I need to check Gal's fuel again to see. But Carr coming into the pits, changed all the tyres, and see where he comes out. 7.6, not very quick. We've had quicker stops than that. That is for sure. But I think it's the car, it looks like, behind Lean Campana, who at the moment is running in a very solid 8th position. And yes, he does. And I think behind Matteo Catalan as well. And yes, Catalan goes by. But Carr will be in a little bit of clear air. He comes out ahead of Rosetta Martinez, who is still running a good race from him as well. Meanwhile, this is Carr, who is now up to 8th. This is Lean Campana, has now come into the pits for his first stop of the race, the American. But yeah, so as we look at Martinez right now in 9th, so this is pretty high for him. He'll be pretty excited about that one, that is for sure. So as we look through the rest of the field, coming through, there's De Rossa down in 15th. There's Byrne, who's now trying to get past the Haas of Chris Chatfield. This is for 16th position. He's going alongside the British driver, and he's going to go past him very easily into the first corner. Already ahead. Just behind there is the Racing Point of Roke. And so, yep, he's through. And now Roke is right behind the Haas of Chris Chatfield, who so far has had a pretty, well, I mean, he did score points in Baku, which is something, but Haas having a pretty tricky season so far, certainly Fosbury is, but Chatfield there managing to defend from Roke, not allowing him to get through, that is for sure. Meanwhile, Armakar now trying to get past the Toro Rosso of Catalan, who is not exactly making it very easy for him. But he'll get past on the front straight in one of the main overtaking spots of this circuit. So, as we look at them coming through the god-awful final chicane, I don't know why they decided to put this on the track. It is really just absolute rubbish, that is for sure. But anyway, car now has come through, still in the slipstream of Catalan, and this should be a pretty simple move into the first corner. But of course this is good news for Miglas Gal, with car getting held up like this, because it means that Gal could do the overcut and possibly take the lead of this race. But car now on the inside and moves past Catalan up into 7th position. Now he'll try and go after the driver in 6th. Meanwhile, we're looking at Joseph Willers, who at the moment is running in 3rd. Meanwhile, Roke now going past Chris Chatfield, or at least attempting to, heading towards the first corner. But I think this will be a pretty easy move from Roke. He's on the inside, already sticking his nose ahead, and up into 16th position. So there we go. So the moment Willers running in 3rd. Now Gal finally does pit. It's only a few laps later than what Omar Carr did. But the question is, will it be enough? Where is Carr? He's 29 seconds. There's a big gap actually to Gamba, so plenty of fresh air now for Carr to deal with. Now he got past Catalan, but the big question is, does he come out ahead of Gal, or will he still be behind? But even if he does come out behind, Gal will be on much fresher tyres than Carr, so this could be very interesting indeed. So as he comes out of the pits, where is Carr? And I think Gal is going to come out in front, and yeah, it's not even close really. And yeah, Carr's on a lot of fuel. I didn't see how much, and Gal's got lighter fuel than Carr, so looks to be, it could be the 3 stop, but Gal at the moment has very comfortably jumped Carr in the pits, so he will be the leader of this race once everyone else goes into the pits. But yeah, that's very interesting indeed. Meanwhile, Fosbury trying to get past Gabriel Gomez into the first corner there. Gomez really defending, not allowing Fosbury to make the move, so that he remains behind Gomez. Laura Chung at the moment is the driver leading this race. She'll be pitting very soon as Catalan makes gets a squirm through the corner there, making a mistake. That was coming through turn 5. It's coming through here and then breaking down, and then just gets a little bit wide there, just gets a little bit out of shape there, losing control of the car, but manages to keep it on the road. But there we go. So that is Catalan trying to do a bit of a Tokyo drift through the corner there, which worked, but it means that he loses ground to Carr in front, although of course he would, because he's on fresher tyres. But there was a slide once again coming through. Meanwhile, this is Fosbury once again on the back of Gomez, and by on the back I mean hitting the back of Gomez, but still unable to make the move. But as we look through, looking at Laura Chung at the moment leading this race, as we look now at Lean Campana passing Chris Chatfield. This is for P16, and Chatfield so far having a pretty miserable race already, unfortunately not being able to do as good as he did in Baku. So he's now down to 17th. He's now got David Kupok behind. Kupok, who had a good qualifying, but unfortunately ran into the back of Byrne, which has effectively ruined his race. But meanwhile, Laura Chung now comes in for her first stop of the race, and I'm pretty sure that Gal is doing the 3 stop. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to go. And Chung is putting lighter fuel in, or about the same as what Gal put into his, but of course Chung will be going, I think, slightly longer than what Gal is. But let's see where Chung comes down the circuit, actually. So Gal is yet to come across the line, so I think even actually, Gal now comes across, so Gal's ahead, so I think actually Laura Chung might actually, yeah, and she will jump Armar Carr into 2nd, so well, I say 2nd position, I say 2nd when all the other drivers in front pit, but at the moment in time, it's actually worked out pretty well for Gal and Laura Chung, that is for sure. Meanwhile, Gal now passing his teammate Franco Gamba. He's caught up to the back of him and is set to pass him in towards turn 1. And Gal on the inside and takes P4 away. Now he'll go after Paolino Tomaselli, who actually is still stuck behind the Mercedes of Lopez, still unable to get through past him, which I'm quite surprised. He's been pretty much behind him ever since all the others got past. The Ferraris got through, and he's been unable to make more progress. It's about the, I suppose, the maximum that I guess the McLaren can do, it seems. So this was once again the replay of Miguel Pascal on the inside of Franco Gamba. A pretty simple move, totally no team orders in play there, but he is through and passes his teammate, the Italian teammate of Franco Gamba, in the first corner. So that is that move done. Now he'll go after Tomaselli and Lopez. I would imagine these two will be easy meat for the Hungarian. But as we look through, and on board with Palladino, Tomaselli still sticking behind. He's going to be pitting actually in a few laps time. So it looks like Tomaselli is going to be on the two-stopper, which I'd probably say is, well, as long as you have the pace, I think the two-stopper is probably the way to go. Meanwhile, Willow's already lapping the Williams and Sontag, and it's already lap 19, so that is quite unbelievable, really. There's no other way of putting it. In fact, it's already at lap 19. But I think that was Alfa Romeo coming out of the pits there. Now, this is Miguel Pascal, who's caught up to the back of these two. What a surprise. Tomaselli trying to make a move on the inside of Lopez, and I think he finally might be able to do it. And he has, finally, after about, I don't know, 10 plus laps. Tomaselli has finally passed Franco Lopez on the circuit for position. Would have wanted to have done it earlier, but he finally has now. Now Miguel Pascal will want to get through these guys very quickly if he doesn't want Chung to catch up. And see, Chung's not too far away either, so Gal needs to get this move done now, because Chung is already on the back of Franco Gamba in the background and already passing Franco Gamba. So Gal on the inside of Lopez and now passes him for third. Now he'll go after Tomaselli. Chung passes Gamba for fifth position. So Chung definitely is not out of this, so we could see a battle here between Gal and Chung for their first wins of the season, but also for Laura Chung it would be her first win in the OC ever. And for Maxime Titkoff, he is out of this race, and it looks to be a mechanical failure, and it is a water leak has caused his retirement. He is running lonely down the order in P17, so you can see him coming through towards turn 3, coming through 1, 2, now in towards 3, and that was when the mechanical problem started, as soon as he came around turn 3, and so his race was over. So, and any minute now, the smoke is going to start to come out of his car, which it will do, as the blue flag obviously coming out, and yep. So, as we look at Titkoff coming through, but when it's a water leak, you generally can't get it fixed, and yep, there's the smoke, and the smoke confirming that Titkoff would be going no further in this race. So that's his race over and out on lap 21 of this race, allowing Gomez and Chris Chatfield behind to go through. So now we skip to Gal, who's now on the back of Tomaselli, but meanwhile you see Chung already on the back of Lopez. Will Gal swap to the inside? Oh, there's contact! And I think Gal is through, I believe, yes, so not necessarily the way he probably would have wanted, but Gal does crucially get through past Tomaselli, with Chung in the background wanting to make moves as well. So that was an important move for Gal. I mean, a bit of a bump and run, but nonetheless, he made it through. And so now Laura Chung is on the back of Franco Lopez, who's not going to be pitting for quite a few laps yet, but I think Tomaselli is, and Tomaselli now does come in for his first stop of the race. So that's one less position for Chung to deal with, or one less driver to deal with. Chung on the back of the Mercedes, and he's now going to make a move on the inside of Franco Lopez. This is for P3, what would essentially be P2. And Chung actually doesn't make it stick. I thought she would. She was on the inside, she had it there, and she didn't make the move. I'm quite surprised. I thought that would be it right there. Meanwhile, Carr running on his own in 6th position. No one near him at all. Martin's still running, it looks like, in the points, as Chung once again trying on the inside, but failing to make the move. Now, as we look at Tomaselli, who's coming out of the pits in 8th position, and he's in plenty of clear. He's going very long on this stint. 31 laps, obviously. He's doing the 2 stops, so... but so far for Tomaselli, it's been a good race, but Lopez struggling, and that's good news for Gal because he's holding up Chung behind. So Laura Chung, we wanted to get through, and Gamba's still there as well. So he needs to get this done, Chung, right now if she wants any chance of winning this race. And I thought there was going to be contact there. They were getting close, but really trying to force a mistake out of Franco Lopez. Meanwhile, Gal trying to go past some traffic. Meanwhile, Joseph Willows coming in for his first stop of the race. This is on lap 22, so he's going to be doing the 2-stop as well. So, as we look at Willows coming into the pits for his first stop, so in he comes, and let's see, actually put in, yep, so about the same amount of fuel. So, changing all 4 tyres, of course he will come out, I think, at about P4 or 5, I think. And now this is Chung once again trying to force her way through past Lopez. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Has she got enough grunt? And the answer is, oh, that was so close, nearly contact there, but just not enough. Just doesn't quite have the straight line speed, Chung, to get through. Meanwhile, Willows comes out in P6, comes out behind Armour Car, but actually he's not that far behind Armour Car, so I think Willows could easily catch up to him, but it seems Ferrari have not got the pace, well, I say the pace, the straight line speed to pass the Mercedes. At the moment it's working out pretty well for Miguel Oscal. Franco Lopez holding him up, and Gallo's getting away out front. So, as we look through the rest of the order, I think Jared Fosbury was in the pits for his first stop of the race, I believe. But Lopez so far holding his own against Lopez, and so Lopez holding his own against Chung. And so as Chung once again trying to make a move, and Chung going to swap to the inside, she's going to go for it, but still just unable to make the move stick. So she's going to really have to pull out every trick in the book if she wants any chance of making a move past Lopez and allowing Gal to get away, because Gal is extending his lead quite rapidly at this moment in time. This will be good for Miguel Oscal. A driver, you could say, under pressure from last season. A lot of people say he's very lucky to keep his seat, so he will want to try and get a win and shave off that thing of being maybe a number 2 driver. Meanwhile, Chung is once again trying on the inside of Franco Lopez, and surely this has got to be the move right here. Chung on the inside, has she got it? And she's going to try and hang around the outside, but still can't, and the gap is just extending. It's getting further and further and further away. Meanwhile, this is Roque, who's recovering up into 9th, passing Rosetta Martinez into turn 1. So Roque so far having a good recovery after getting hit, you could say probably quite unfairly, by his teammate Moichin, and that was a pretty easy move there. Martinez really giving it. Meanwhile, this is Lopez battling with Laura Chung and going wide, and Chung finally makes her way past Lopez. It's been a few laps too long, but finally she is through. Look at how much that she has dropped Lopez already. I think it was about 4 seconds it was. Meanwhile, Lee Campana on the inside of De Rosa and squeezing through up into 13th position. Good move there by the American, moving up another position to you could say unlucky number 13, but he does make it through in the end. So good job there by the American Lee Campana. Meanwhile, this is Armour Car, who's now on the back of Franco Gamba, trying to make a move on the inside into the first corner, and Carr is just going past the Red Bull very easy. Look at how much more straight line speed he's got compared to the Red Bull. He is through on the inside and now passes Franco Gamba for P4. Now Willows is there as well, going to try and get involved in this battle. Carr now will try and overtake his teammate, but of course Willows will get past probably Gamba pretty easy, but if you see how much Chung struggled to get past the Mercedes, you never know. But Willows unable to get past Gamba there. Meanwhile, Tomaselli has passed Catalan for 8th. Roque is in the pits, and so actually is Martinez. So, as we look at them coming through, Carr already on the back of his teammate Lopez, and surely Lopez is not going to make this any harder than it needs to be. Well, you would think not anyway. But Carr is now right behind the Argentinian, and surely this should be an easy move. Carr's going to try and make a move to the inside, going to try and probably swap over, and no, Lopez not going to make it easy. And so he's now going to have to wait Carr until the main straight to make this move stick. And so, as they come through the long right hander, heading towards the final chicane, coming through into the right hander. Now immediately jigging to the right for a sharp left, then for a right, and now finally getting on to the front straight, coming through what would normally be on the better layout, the fast right hander, but although it probably still is quite fast really for these cars. But anyway, Carr on the inside of Lopez, this should be an easy move. Meanwhile, Willows on the inside of Gamma in the background, and Carr is not through. Willows is, however, he has passed Franco Gamma ahead for P5, and so Carr's now going to wait another few corners, but of course now Willows is right there as well, so this is not working out particularly well for Armour Car in the slipstream now of the Mercedes. But Willows is there too, so Carr needs to get this done because Willows is right there. car on the inside. This is surely the move, and he finally does it. He's over to P3, but Willows might make the move as well. Will he? No, not quite. So Lopez will now, Carl will be hoping Lopez will do him a favour. Meanwhile, Frank Gamba coming in for another stop. He's on the 3, so he'll be making one more stop after this unless he really decides to go all out on this stint. But he's not going to do about 40 laps on this set of tyres. It's just not going to work. The medium tyres, of course, that we're using for this race. I didn't actually mention that at the start. I normally do, but Gamba will be pitting once more. But so far the 3-stop not really working out, I think, as well as Gamba would have hoped. It's another 7.6 second stop. So, as we look now at Laura Chong, I wonder what the gap is actually out front. Look at the gap actually, but to car behind, 20 seconds, almost a pit stop behind. Never realised that the gap was that huge. That's insane, really. But hopefully, when the graphics turn over, we can see the gap out front. I think last time I saw it was about 8.4 seconds between Gal and Chung. Meanwhile, this is Campana trying to get past Andrea Federi. And the gap is... Chung is gaining. It's down to 7 seconds. So the gap is coming down. So I don't think it's quite over yet. You never know what could happen. We've still got over half the race to go. But Campana unable to make the move past the Italian Federi into the first corner. Now as they come towards turn 4, this is the chance for him to make the move. And the answer is no, he can't do it. Meanwhile, Armour Car running at the moment in a very lonely 3rd position. This is Sontag trying to make it through on the inside of the Toro Rosso of Catalan, trying to unlap himself. But that's not going to happen. Meanwhile, Willow's now trying to get past Lopez himself. So we're looking at Car, looking at now Catalan, who is still under pressure from Sontag, who is still trying to unlap himself, but once again failing to do so. Campana now on the inside of Federi. This is for ninth. Federi goes wide. Federi is off into the gravel and gets out of it with no damage, but loses a few positions in the process, down to 12th position under pressure from the American. And as you can see there, it gets past and then just loses control, goes wide, goes into the gravel. You're lucky because you do see some cars getting damaged from going wide there, but no harm done. This was the onboard from Federi's teammate, Gabriel Gomez, who slotted through very nicely there, moving up to another position. Meanwhile, Tomaselli actually now up to 5th. This is George Roque, who's trying to get past David Kupok. Martinez is there as well. Martinez launches it down the inside. Oh no! And Roque has... Oh, I thought Roque was out, but Kupok is. And Kupok's sticky with Roque there, but I was for sure thought Roque was out as well. But David Kupok is out. Martinez making a dive bomb into the corner there. And unfortunately, Roque had just no choice and took out David Kupok there. Yellow flag is out, and that, of course, is for David Kupok. Meanwhile, I think there was a battle going on there between, I think it was Chatfield and... No, I think it was a lap traffic, I think, actually. Meanwhile, Miguel Escow, I think I just saw, was in the pits for a second time. But let's have a look at that again. So this was the battle, obviously, between Roque, Martinez, and Kupok. So Kupok was being lapped. Roque was going to try and take advantage of that, because Kupok was stuck, and then Martinez just saw a gap and just went for it, launched it down the inside. And, well, he took both positions there. Unfortunately, Roque was just caught right in the middle of that, just had nowhere to go, and caught the side of David Kupok there, who unfortunately has now been eliminated from this race. But you can't really blame... well, I suppose Martinez, you know, he saw a gap, went for it. I don't know if... I suppose you can't blame him for actually making the move, but I suppose what was Roque meant to do in that situation? Well, I suppose Kupok couldn't do anything either, really. So both of them were pretty much stumped. Roque just wasn't expecting to see a manner there. Had to take avoidance and just couldn't do anything about it, but you can see just it was just never going to work. The incident between the 3 drivers, Kupok, Martinez and Roque, will be under investigation. I don't think anything is going to come from that. I doubt any of them are going to get a penalty, but for Roque, unfortunately, it's been yet again another disastrous race for him. Had a chance of getting the points, but he's going to be getting absolutely nothing now. Meanwhile, this is Paulino Tomaselli, who's back behind Joseph Willows. This is for 5th. This was actually him making the move for 5th in towards the first corner and just in the slipstream and going past the Ferrari very easily there on the inside. And so that is P5 for Tomaselli. So Tomaselli so far in this race having a good race once again, really performing very well in that McLaren, definitely getting more out of it than I suppose you normally would in that car. And he also passes Lopez too. So that was a very easy move. Lopez, who of course, by the way, still has not pitted yet and is very much struggling on that set of tyres, that is for sure. He'll be so glad when he gets off them and he can have some fresh rubber. He's almost running on ribs probably at this point, with particularly in this span on this circuit as well. Very hard on tyres. Pit call, I think that was for Laura Chung out front. Gal has, of course, has pitted and is down to second. So we'll see. Actually, it was a Chung. Well, Chung will obviously come up behind Gal, but of course, I imagine, of course, they'll both have one more stop before the end. So Chung at the moment on her own out front. As you can see, yellow flag coming out on our dash. Marshall still waving the yellow flags to get rid of Q-Pox stricken car. So Martin is now already gaining to the back of De Rossa. So there's Evan Byrne also in 15th position. Bit off that battle that could start very soon. So Roke now down to 17th with that pit stop. But Chung will come in and she'll have one more stop, I think, as well before the end. So she now comes in. So in a way, it's kind of a bit of an awkward pit entry because it's technically on the racing line. You have to really then jink to the right to be able to make the move. So as we look now at Laura Chung, as Martin is now passing actually De Rossa, this is for 13th. On side De Rossa, and he's through. So very easily done. So Chung now comes out. She'll be pitting once more before the end. So of course Gal will come out ahead, and Gal actually is going to be fairly close actually, but Gal will come out still in the lead. And so going past, but Chung definitely seems to be a little bit closer than what it was before. So I reckon these two could have a battle. So it could be a battle between Gal taking his first win of the season and Chung taking her first win ever in the top tier. So we could see that happening, and they're both way ahead of Car as well, who Car has one more stop. So it looks like it's just Gal and Chung for the win today. The pace from them has been absolutely immense. Meanwhile, this is Willows, who is on the back of Lopez. I think he's finally made the move past the Argentinian. So this was coming into the same corner that Tomaselli passed as well. And this was a very easy move. And he's through. So Lopez has still got at least probably about 3 laps or so before he goes in for another set of tyres. And he'll still be on heavy fuel as well. And so coming through turn 3, and you can see him making a mistake going wide onto the AstroTurf and losing a position, losing the position to the racing point there. So meanwhile, this is Franco Gamba, who is trying to battle with Matteo Catalan. So far for Gamba, a 3-stop for him has not worked. And oh, there was contact there between, that was George Roke and Chris Chatfield in the battle for 16. So Roke cannot avoid at the moment crashing, well, so it's getting involved in incidents at this moment in time. Meanwhile, this is Tomaselli, who is passing. That's right, Paolino Tomaselli is passing Armour Car in a Mercedes. Paolino Tomaselli, what a performance he is putting in today. And he is legitimately in with a shout of getting a podium here. He is now up into P3, passing the McLaren. Of course, Tomaselli, who's going to be pitting fairly late as well. So this is going pretty well for him. Carr is pitting in a few laps, and I think he's going to go to the end on that. Meanwhile, Lopez finally is going to be pitting as he gets unlapped by the racing point of Roke there. As we're looking now at Armour Car, who is getting under pressure from Joseph Willows behind him. So as Willows trying to make a move on the inside, can he make it stick? And Willows is going to go for it, and he's on the inside. Has he got the run through the corner? I'm not sure. Might still be side by side between the two, and Willows has got the run round the outside and passes Armour Car. Great move there by Willows. So far Mercedes really struggling in this race, and Carr trying to get position back, but it's not going to happen there. This is the move once again for Willows going around the outside here. You don't see many moves around this corner, that is for sure, but Armour Car managing to make it work. So as we look at Carr again, did he make a little error there, or was it just no? I think it was just the slow motion as Willows going around the outside of the corner there. So a good move there by the British driver. Meanwhile, this is Miguel Escal trying to get past some traffic, and there's Laura Chung. She is not far off. I think she's definitely gaining on Miguel Escal at this moment in time, so we could still have a good battle on our hands before the end of the race. So as you look at Gomez right now running in 9th, Chatfield I think was that in 10th? No, that was Fosbury I think actually in 9th, I should say. Fosbury in 9th position, as we're looking at Tomaselli right now running in an unbelievable 3rd position, that is for sure. But yeah, it's just been a great race for Paolino Tomaselli, really outperforming that McLaren, that is for sure. There is no doubt about it. So, as we look through at Laura Chung, she is about to lap the Renault in front of her, and then she will have the Red Bull to attack. So Chung really wants this, of course, because she wants to win her first ever OC race. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Of course, Gao would love to win his first OC race of the season, but for Chung, it would mean so much more to her to win her first OC race before the start of the season, she didn't actually have a seat. And then, thanks to Florian Volker's shock retirement, she came back. She was brought back to Ferrari, and this is a great chance for her. She's now past the Renault, and now she has got the Red Bull in her sights in front of her to attack. And Gal's got I think there was another car coming out of the pits. I think it was a Toro Rosso, but I think it's on fresher tyres. I don't think we need to worry about that. But as Miklas Gal coming through, Gabriel Gomez in the pits. Chung is behind. What is the gap coming across the line? I think it was about 2 seconds, 2.1. And it's about 1.9, so Chung is gaining. She is there as Lean Commander goes past De Rossa, who is coming into the pits. And yeah, we'll see, as Willows now still about a second off Tomaselli in front of him. Carl at the moment just doesn't have the pace at all. Gamma's way behind as well, so he's just got absolutely no chance. So for Gal as well, it didn't help him. For Gamba as well, it didn't help him on the strategy. Meanwhile, Willows right behind Palomino Tomaselli. This is the battle for third position. Tomaselli, can he hold off Willows? Willows on the inside. This is the battle for the final podium spot. Willows alongside Tomaselli, but I don't think he's got the run. And no, he hasn't. So Tomaselli keeps position for now. How long can Tomaselli hold it for? Can he hold it to the rest of the race? Maybe, I don't know, as Tomaselli's made a mistake. And I say that Tomaselli makes a mistake and goes wide. That is the commentator's curse right there. Just as I was singing his praises, saying how well he performed, and then he unfortunately makes a uncharacteristic mistake there under pressure from Willows. However, Tomaselli still had a great race anyway, so we just need to keep it on. We'll have a top 5 from this race, that is for sure. Meanwhile, Gal going past the traffic there of the Toro Rosso Chung. The gap only 1.2 seconds now, and they've still got a fair few laps to go until they make their final stops. So, could even see a battle even before the final stop. But meanwhile, this is I think this is Evan Byrne. Yeah, it is, who's behind Rosetta Martinez in the Manor. And so now Byrne going past the Manor, very easy, going past the Filipino driver of Martinez, and Byrne is now up in 10th. It's been actually, you have to say, a good recovery from Evan Byrne as well, obviously having been hit early on by David Kupok. So Will is at the moment already getting the gap to Tomaselli in front of him. Now here we go. This is the battle for the lead. This is crucial. This is Chung right behind Gao. She's been reeling him in ever since she got up to second, and now Chung has the opportunity to make the move on the inside. Can she do it? No. We've still got just less than 20 laps to go in this race, but this could be crucial before the final stop here, and Chung wants to get this move done. And she obviously lost out the win in China. She could have had it there, but she didn't, having taken pole position. Now this is the perfect opportunity for her to get her first win in her OC career. Meanwhile, that was, I think, Jared Fosbury coming out of the pits down, I think, in P13. So now we've got just 17 laps to go. Chung all over the back of Gal. She's clearly got more pace than him. Oh, there's contact! And is Chung through? The answer is yes. And Chung does make it through up into the lead. Probably not the way that Gal would have wanted it, but nonetheless, you could see it was coming from a mile away. And Chung makes it up into the lead past Miklas Gal. And I don't imagine Gal is going to be too happy with that. Meanwhile, Lean Campana trying to get past Martinez for 10th. This is the final point spot. There's cars behind him as well, so there's a big gaggle of cars trying to get the last point. And now Campana's going to go around the outside of Martinez and takes 10th. Gomez is there as well. So is Jared Fosbury. Fosbury, who himself is trying to get his first point of the season. Martinez trying to get it back, but Gomez is going to try and go around the outside of Martinez, and he's going to do it. What a move by Gabriel Gomez, and he took full advantage of that and made it through. So now, as we look at Chung, who's already extending the gap to Gal behind with about 16 laps to go, one more stop left. But it looks to be going as... Oh, that was close coming into the chicane there. Meanwhile, Joseph Willows set to come in for his final stop of the race because he's not going to be a contender for the win. But we're looking at this move by Gabriel Gomez around the outside of Martinez, who was trying to get the place back from Lean Campana, and Gomez just took advantage. Oh, he so nearly went into the back of Campana there. That could have been That could have gone a whole lot worse, but fortunately it didn't. But now Joseph Willows comes in for his final stop of the race, but of course I don't think he's going to have any any chance of winning. But the incident between Dupont, Martinez and Roque concluded to be a racing incident, so that is not really much of a surprise there. But and we have another pit call actually for Tomaselli. Actually, he's going to be pitting this lap too. So Tomaselli will be gutted that she lost the position to Willows by making the mistake. But still, as we look at Franco Lopez, who is running in 7th position, and well, what can you say? The ones that just didn't go his way today after the highs of Baku, it is back to the pain lows of Spain. So yeah, that's all we can really say about that. But Lopez at least is ahead of Willows temporarily, of course. And of course Tomaselli will be coming to the pits this lap as well. So as we look at the McLaren just ahead of Franco Gamba, who himself is on the 3-stop, there's another car coming in the pits as well, I think I could see. That is Armar Carr actually going to be pitting this lap for his final stop of the race too. So Tomaselli actually still could be under pressure for a top 5 here, but I think a top 5 at the very least would be at the very least what he deserves from how well he's performed this race. Of course, Gamma's now all over the back of him, but of course Tomaselli will be jinking to the right, coming out of the final chicane to go into the pits. So as we look at Gamba all over the back of his fellow Italian and going very slow through the chicane, and now Tomaselli goes into the pits, jinks to the right, and there we go. He is in the pits for his final stop of the race. So as we look now at Tomaselli coming in, and there's a few more pit calls. Evan Byrne was coming in. I think there was 2 other drivers as well who were coming into the pits too. And so it is going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen in the lower reaches of the points. But Tomaselli comes in. It will of course be going to the end. How quick will the stop be for Tomaselli? And Armar Carr of course is in as well. Tomaselli comes out 5.7. So pretty quick stop there. Actually exactly the same I think for Armar Carr as well. The gap Chung to Gal about 1.8 seconds. Chung has extended it slightly. It's not by a large margin. Gal is still there, so anything could still happen. They've still got to make one more stop. Although the gap now actually up to 2.1 seconds, so maybe this is about the time. But I think Carr actually, maybe he's not careful, needs to get the pace on, because otherwise he could be lapped by Laura Chung. There's Willows at the moment, who's running 5th behind Franco Lopez. Of course, this is a battle for position, because Lopez is not pitting any more times before the end of this race. So Willows needs to get this move done on Franco Lopez at the moment. Temporarily he's running in P4, but it's not going to last for long. Willows alongside, but backs out of it and decides not to make the move stick. So as we look at Willows all over the back, almost pushing Lopez around the corners. Tomaselli at the moment running in a lonely P6, but he's ahead of Armar Carr though. Had a very, very impressive race. Willows stuck behind the Mercedes of Lopez, but I don't imagine this will be for long, because they're just coming onto the front straight right now. So, and I would imagine this is going to be the move, and Willows now moving to the right on the inside of the Mercedes of Franco Lopez. But you can see, just look at the speed the Mercedes has. Although Willows trying to stick it on the inside, they almost make contact. But meanwhile, Laura Chung has come in for her final stop of the race. Not exactly a very quick stop though, over 7.5 seconds. So if Gal makes a quicker stop, it could be still within a shout of a battle for the race win. Meanwhile, this is Jared Fosbury. For the moment, is running in 10th, so Fosbury might actually be getting his first points of the season if things carry on going his way. He's now going to try and pass Gomez to get more than just a single point. But Willows still unable to get through past Franco Lopez, as the Red Bull there of, I think that is Franco Gamba, coming in to the pits for his final stop of the race. So now that will allow Lopez to move up temporarily to 3rd, but which will be 4th if Willows can finally make the move into the first corner. Willows just about getting up alongside the Mercedes, but is it going to happen is the big question, and the answer is no, it isn't. Unable to make the move stick there for the podium. What is essentially now, well, what is now the podium, the last spot on the podium. Meanwhile, Carr running in 6th, and Gamma just coming out of the pits, and he might only just get out ahead of his teammate, which would be not good. It would be pretty embarrassing for Gamma, considering he was in the 3-stop, and so was Gal. But Gal has been, well, Gal and Chung really have been in a league of their own this race. Just no one has really come close to them. And I think, speaking of Gal, he is coming into the pits this lap with just 11 laps to go. So I wonder if we could still possibly even see a battle between Gal and Chung for the win. You never know what could happen, really. So as we look at Willows, who is trying to make a move on the inside, surely this is it. Can he do it? The answer is no, he can't. I wonder if they keep holding each other up. I wonder if Tomasetti could even close up before the end. I mean, he is a little bit far away, but you never know if Willows is struggling this much to get past Lopez, even though he's much quicker than he is. This could be very interesting come the end of the race. We've got 11 laps to go, lap 55 of 56, and this could be very interesting indeed. Willow's not quite close enough to get past on the straight here. Well, I mean, he could make a move late, maybe. I'm not sure. He's in the slipstream, but no, he's just not close enough. Lopez slightly moving to the right will compromise himself a little bit coming through turns 1, 2, and 3. Then into turn 4, this is the perfect chance for him to make the move. Meanwhile, Miguel Gal is now coming into his final stop of the race. So in he comes for his last stop. So the big question is, will he come ahead of Chung? But I don't think the gap was about 18 seconds, so I don't think that's going to happen. But I'll rephrase the question. Can Miguel Gal get his first victory of the season? Is going to be the big question. He'll be quicker than Chung, but Chung has seemingly had the pace on him this race. So this could be a very interesting last 10 laps of the race. But Gal comes out. That was a pretty quick stop. I think it was 6 seconds, although Chung has actually just set, funnily enough, the fastest lap of the race. So Gal will really need to get his fade on. So as now Roke trying to battle with the McLaren here of De Rossa, and I think he does make it through up into what is 12th position there. De Rossa now trying to keep it round the outside, coming in towards the chicane though. And does De Rossa get the position back? The answer is, does he? Yes, he does. So De Rossa gets 12th position back from Roke there as they come onto the front straight. So that was a good battle there between the two. So it was actually a battle of positions. De Rossa was the one actually who was trying to make the move originally. He didn't do it, but eventually did get past Roke. This was the onboard, so De Rossa getting down the inside. There wasn't any contact there, fortunately. Roke trying to keep the position there, and he did originally, but obviously not on fresh tyres particularly, so De Rossa managing to just about keep it around the outside and had a better run coming off the corner into the, well, coming through the chicane, could still keep it, was on the inside. I thought Roke was going to have the run off the corner, but De Rossa around the outside, a little bit more grip, fresher tyres, and boom, he was through up into 12th position there. Meanwhile, this is Willers once again still yet to get past Franco Lopez. This is the battle for P3. Tomasetti is gaining lap by lap, so Willers needs to get this done. Meanwhile, this is Campana and Roke battling for P13 in front. Of course, the traffic actually could have something to do with the battle for the podium. But, oh no, my Lopez has gone wide, and as I say that, oh, he's got damage as well. Oh, he's got damage as well, so that has handed Willers the podium. Tomasetti is going to get P4 away from him. And Franco Lopez, who had done a great job thus far holding off Willows, then makes one of the many mistakes drivers have made coming through to turn 3, just going slightly too wide. And once you go slightly too wide, that ends any chance you have of controlling the car. Not a lot of them spin off actually these days. You've seen it before where drivers have spun off, but unfortunately for Lopez, it's not been his day, and he loses part of his front wing, so he has to pit for a new one. So he'll be pretty cheesed off about that, to say the least. He will not be happy at the fact that he had a good chance of keeping a podium, and now he's going to get not as many points as he would wish. I don't know if it will affect him in the championship. I think he will still be leading the championship, because Carr's not doing very well. Neither actually is Franco Gamba. So, but for Willis, it would have been, but for Lopez, sorry, it would have been the perfect opportunity for him to really extend his lead even more. Meanwhile, this was the battle for P13 between Campana and Roke, and Campana goes into the back of Roke there, but no damage done, as Lopez is now in the pits to change his front wing. Franco Gamba at the moment in 6th position, Carr in 5th, Tomasetti now 4th, Willows in 3rd, so it looks like Willows probably has the edge on Tomasetti for 3rd, but you never know what could happen. but Lopez will be just fuming that he made that mistake. Just not a mistake he should have made, and a mistake also that he didn't have to make. He didn't need to make that mistake either. So there we go. So as we look at Tomaselli coming through, trying to get past all this traffic, this is Campana once again trying to get past Roque in the battle for P13. Obviously Roque just not been his day, as Tomaselli launches it down the inside past the Alfa Romeo there, and so now he'll go after Campana and Roque. Of course, he really wants to get past the two ASAP if he wants any chance of trying to get... Oh my word! And Tomaselli, wow, really was getting through there, whether Campana liked it or not. You don't see many drivers doing that, and that could have gone horribly wrong. That was an unbelievable move. I mean, it wasn't position, but it was technically for position. It was for track position. And Roque actually isn't going to the end, so he's pitting once more. So Tomaselli does get through, but that was still an unbelievable move that he did there to get to the track. It's a fair play to him. Tomaselli is really not hanging around. So, but Campana's trying to get back past Tomaselli into the first corner, and failing to do so. That will not please Tomaselli, having Campana trying to get back past him here. But Tomaselli right now in the gap's 4 seconds. It's still possible, but I don't know if it can still happen. But look at the race. Catalan having a good race in the points. 8. Jared Fosbury, of course, is running in 9th position at this moment in time. So it looks like he's finally going to get his first points of the season, which would definitely be thoroughly deserved. He's not had a good start to this season at all. Not been their season. Meanwhile, this is Tomaselli, who's on the back of his teammate De Rossa, about to lap his teammate. So this will show how well Tomaselli's done this race. He now goes around the outside and finally passes De Rossa. Meanwhile, Campana tried to sneak through there, unable to do so, but now he's got a good run onto the front straight. This is the perfect opportunity for Campana to get through, pass into 12th position. So he's now in the slipstream of De Rossa on the inside. This is going to be the move for P12. And Campana's on the inside, and yes, he's up into P12. Ahead of him on the circuit is Tomaselli, but of course position-wise is Federi, who's in 11th, but not in the points. And I don't know how far Federi is behind Byrne, but Byrne himself, I think, is definitely closing onto the back. Meanwhile, Gamba trying to get past Armakar for 5th. Federi, he's 23 seconds behind, so yeah, that is not going to happen. So it looks like the points at the moment, keyword is at the moment, secure, but anything can happen. We've still got 4 laps left, so who knows what could happen. But at the moment, still battles going on throughout the field. Gamba trying to get past Armakar for 5th. It has not been Mercedes' day, and Lopez would have had a semi-decent points finish had he not gone off and damaged his front wing. But yeah, that is unfortunate. They're going past the manor there, as they do. So, as we look at the cars coming through, Carl now trying to get past the McLaren of De Rossa. This is important for him as he wants to keep ahead. Is Gamba going to try and sneak through as well? Is he going to go through here? No. Has to wait behind the McLaren, which will not please Frecker Gamba because it means he loses ground to car in front. So now, finally, Gamba gets past De Rossa, but has lost all the ground, so now we can't overtake Car down the front straight, so we have to wait a few more corners to do so. And, there's Chris Chatfield making a little mistake there. But there we go. Chatfield, pretty much, we've just had... No, I'm pretty sure... I don't remember. Did he pit early on? I actually can't remember. If he didn't, it's been a pretty horrific race for him. That is for sure. I don't remember him making particularly any errors, but I could be wrong. But the moment Chung actually, the gap out front, so Galler's not closing him at all really. If anything, it's extended. It's down a bit now, 7.9, but still, Chung really has the pace over Miklos Gal, as there's a little lock up there from Frank Gamba there coming to the corner, but it's not affected him too much. He's still behind Car, but now Gamba's still trying to sneak through past the traffic, and there's Car in front, and he's through. So as we look at Car coming through in P5, but Gamba, you can see how much quicker he is coming through that corner just alone, and already defending into the corner, but Gamba's got no chance of making the move there. So as we look now at Andrea Federi, who is running in P11, so, and he's made yet another mistake, or not from himself, but yet another mistake being made as he loses the position actually to Lean Campana. So we're now on the final lap of this race. Gamba once again still trying to get past Car for P5, unable to do so, but for Laura Chung, is looking pretty good for her at the moment. Meanwhile, a battle for P9 as well between Jared Fosbury and Evan Byrne. So Fosbury set to get points, and this was Byrne trying to make a move on the inside of Fosbury, and he actually did get ahead, but Fosbury had the run around the outside and kept the position here. So Fosbury will get his first points of the season, but it all depends how many he'll get. Will he get more than 1 point? At the moment he will, but meanwhile Franco Gamba all over the back of Carr, has been for a while now. This is the chance. Gamba on the inside, he's launching it down. Surely is this the move? And the answer is no, it's not. You can just tell Carr was going to keep the position there, and he does. So he keeps it from Franco Gamba yet again, but Gamba is not going to give up. He's got a few more opportunities, because of course Chung is not going to lap these guys. So I thought Gamba had it there, but just not quite. Carr managing to keep the momentum and keep the position, crucially ahead of Gamba there. Meanwhile, this is Laura Chung. What a race it has been from her. I thought it was Gal's race sewn up today, but she has proven it wrong. What a race Laura Chung has put in. She has outperformed everyone in this field, and Laura Chung is going to win the Spanish Grand Prix and take her first win in the top tier of the OC. What a performance, and thoroughly deserved. Nicolas Gal, second place. He'll be pretty happy with that. But, well, it's better than third from last time out of Baku, but he would have probably wished he could have got the win today. But second is still pretty good, nonetheless. Meanwhile, that we're looking at Matteo Catalan for Toro Rosso in 8th position. So he is now coming through the final chicane, set the cross lines. And once again, Matteo Catalan has had a good start to the season, you could say. He's definitely performed very well, kept himself out of trouble, and managed to get himself a solid bunch of points across the line in 8th. Meanwhile, behind Fosbury and Byrne as they come towards the line, and Fosbury just holds off Byrne for 9th, so he gets his first points in the top tier of the OC. The Fosbury era truly has now begun. Meanwhile, we're looking at Jules Willers to come across the line in 3rd position. He'll be pretty happy with that to get 3rd out of this race. Meanwhile, Palino Tomaselli, 4th position. I mean, he couldn't have really asked, but he could have had 3rd had he maybe not made that mistake. Willers might have alleged him, but nonetheless, it's been an amazing performance. And Jared Fosbury finished in 9th, and I think he's used all his power to hold off Byrne, and it's finally given up on him. But fortunately, he'd already crossed the line at this point before it happened. So coming into the first corner. And coming through, and we're just going a bit slowly there, but then suffers a mechanical problem just coming through the first corner. But fortunately for Fosbury, it doesn't matter. He keeps 9th anyway. Campana just missing out for Gamba. I don't know. I don't think Carr did finish 5th, so Gamba was unable to get past Carr at the end. So here were the full race results. It was so Laura Chung winning ahead of Nicolas Gal, 5 seconds the gap, 56 seconds Willers behind Chung in the end. Palino was 4th, Amakar 5th, and Frank Gamba the last corner lead lap in 6th. Franco Lopez, Matteo Catalan, Jared Fosbury, and Evan Byrne completing the points. Lean Campana 11th, just missing out. Laura Chung also setting the fastest lap of the race, showing her dominance this race. Gabriel Gomez 12th, and Rosetta Martinez 13th, the last car only 1 lap down. Andrea Federi, George Roque, Kiros Pedrosa, Chris Chatford 2 laps down, and Felix Sontag, the only car 3 laps down, with David Kupok, Maxime Titkoff, Roland Moitin, and Jamie McKenzie, the drivers who did not finish this race. So now looking at the Drivers' Championship, it didn't really have too much of an impact. Franco Lopez still leading, but it could have been a whole lot better. Ahead of Jules Willers, 2nd, Nicolas Gal moving up to 3rd, Laura Chung moving up to 4th, ahead of Franco Gamba. Amakar staying in 6th position, Palino Tomaselli moving up to 7th, been a great start to the season for him. Other movements, Matteo Catalan moving up into 11th position. Jared Fosbury, of course, moving up into 17th. With him getting his first 2 points of the season, only 2 behind Chris Chatfield. So the only cars so far yet to, or drivers should say, yet to score points this season are Lean Campana and Rosetta Martinez. So now looking in the constructors, and it's very close at the moment. Only 2 points Ferrari overtaking Mercedes and taking the lead in the constructor standings by just 2 points, with Red Bull only 14 points behind as well. McLaren moving way ahead in 4th, Alpha in 5th, Racing Point 6th, just 1 point behind, Renault 7th, Toro Rosso 8th, Haas 9th, Manor 10th, and Williams in 11th. And the driver of the day was given to Palino Tomaselli. I definitely think he deserved that for a fantastic performance, just missing out on the podium, but 4th and comfortably dishing it out with the best cars is as best you could get it, really. But that was the Spanish Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed. The next round, of course, will be the Monaco Grand Prix at the Monaco Street Circuit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you there.